ranking the 11 Hank Williams III studio albums from worst to best. Heads up, all 11 are pretty awesome, even the ones that Hank III himself doesn't like. At number 11, we have 3 Bar Ranch Cattle Calling from 2011, and I had a bit of fun at the expense of this record, this album, before. But after discovering that it is indeed available on Spotify, I've given it some more spins, and it's a bold record. There's no other album on earth or hell or heaven that sounds like 3 Bar Ranch Cattle Calling. And it's an album that kind of opened up or slashed and torn my musical taste a new one, if you know what I mean. Moo You is a classic. I remember liking that even back in the day when I was making fun of this record. And Branded is an album closer like no other. Now, what has made me change my mind on Cattle Ranch? This record sent me on a journey through speed metal and grindcore, and for that, I owe this record a debt of gratitude. I'm sorry I made a video calling you the worst album of all time, Space and Coffee. Despite coming in at number 11, this Cattlecore album, it's the only one like it in the world. It's the only Cattlecore release that I can find, and I'm on a journey to hear every song ever recorded. So this album is a masterpiece in its own right. Cattlecore forever. You kind of got it like these aren't devil horns. These are cow horns. I agree. Number 10 is Ghost to a Ghost / Gutter Town, and I debated separating these two, but they are forever entwined, right? Somebody in the comments tell me where that opening guitar effect is from. Like, I don't, it's not a ripoff, but like I've heard another song that opens or closes just like that, and I need you to tell me what it is. I can't think of it. There's a song that sounds just like that. Anyway, Ghost to a Ghost / Gutter Town is my kind of jam. It's got 2 hours and 16 minutes of material, all of which is in the finer class of storytelling. 3 is joined by Tom Waits, Les freaking Claypool. I've never said that out loud, and you guys know I struggle with names. But there's a whole host of other enormous figures in the music scene on this record. Daniel Mason in The House. In the Gutter Town. And Ghost to a Ghost is a real treat and a full album listening experience. Like if you have the time. If you have the time on your bloody hands to just listen to both of these, just like lay in the floor, chill out, or dance in your underwear on your couch and not chill out at all. Fade and Moon is a highlight on the Gutter Town side of things. But man, this double album, it's one for the ages. Number 9, we got Attention Deficit Domination from Hank III Records, 2011. It's a stoner doom metal album where 3 plays everything. All the burping, farting, vocals, guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, orgamonicas, the warbling vocals and distraught one-man band sound. It rumbles through my veins, and it'll rumble through yours. And my personal favorite tunes off of Attention Deficit Disorder. Wait a minute. I forgot what I was doing. Get it? The title? My favorite songs are Bend, and before I forget, Goats and Heathens. Those are the highlights if you don't have time to stream the whole thing. Now we're moving on to the 8th best Hank III album. In the number 8 spot, we got Brothers of the 4x4, and I'm being very careful to say my words correctly here because I know that you guys will get upset. Okay, Brothers with an S of the 4x4. On Hank III Records, of course, 2013. Brothers is a lengthy record. It's 3's longest, and it doesn't feel like it. It feels like one of his shortest projects. Hurtin' for Certain is a joyous bop. Looky Yonder Coming. This might just be the highlight for me. Oh, no! Yeah, that's going to be the highlight in the sea of near 90 minutes of country music and outlaw country music. This album's just got peaks of adrenaline, like a shot of coffee in the veins, and I like it. It's been years since I've burnt this incense. I'm lying here. Okay, at the number 7 spot, we got Lovesick, Broke, and Driftin' from 2002. Lovin' and Huggin' is one that I go back to a lot, very much. And this is a straight up country record that feels like it's from the heart. It feels honest. It's definitely old school in all the best ways when it comes to country music, like that original, like what country music was supposed to be, what it is supposed to be. Whiskey, Weed, and Women. That one really, it doesn't happen very often with the new rebels, right? Like everybody is doing their own creativity, but this one really channels Hank Williams Sr. and the colossal Mississippi Mud. Lovesick, Broken, Driftin' at number 7. We're already in near perfect album territory. And I think my next one, number 6, is going to be from the pile from 2011 with Hillbilly Joker. The Southern Metal Cowpunk album, I guess is what it is. And yeah, while I really enjoy the material on Hillbilly Joker, I wish things would have went differently surrounding this release. And I know we all wish things would have just went differently all around with Curb Records and all of that. But we could instead of streaming Hillbilly Joker, let's just all rock some fuck Curb t-shirts, and maybe instead of listening to this album or streaming it or buying it, maybe just do that stuff for Ass Jack instead, because there is some crossover there, and Ass Jack is just, man, that album is great. So if we were going to put Ass Jack, well, let's put Ass Jack over the cover of this one. But honestly, if I was ranking Ass Jack in this list, I'd probably have it a little bit higher. And speaking of higher, we're moving up to number 5. Number 5 is A Fiendish Threat from 2013, and man, this is an album that back in the day, probably when it was released or sometime after, probably up until 2020, I probably had A Fiendish Threat probably near the bottom of my list. But hot damn, in 2025, this is my kind of punk rock record. It's scrappy, it's acoustic in spots, and Three's vocals are just so alien compared to the rest of his catalog. Like Three Bar Ranch, this album really transcends what one artist can do within their own sound, within their own range. It's an experimental punk rock record that really deserves a lot more recognition, both in production and songwriting. And if you don't have a lot of time, Different from the Rest is the one that just grabbed my soul. And Different from the Rest, that's a really great way to describe this record. Are we really in the top 4 already? Holy crap. Number 4, fourth best Hank 3 album. Number 4, Rising Outlaw from 1999. I really got to get a copy of Live in Scotland. Let me know in the comments if you have it or know how to get it, or if it's not $5 trillion, I really want to get that. Rising Outlaw. Hey, my number 4 pick probably won't get me in Shania's pants. Rising Outlaw might not be the groundbreaking debut that Curb or Brooke felt like it was. They thought it was different and alternative, and Hank 3 felt like it was a headache. But you know, my parents, my background with Hank Three and the entire family, really, my parents and I got a lot of enjoyment out of three men with broken hearts when I was a kid. At 11 years old, that was so amazing hearing three Hanks on one record. And Rise and Outlaw was a continuation. It was the next logical step for 14-year-old me. Holy crap, I'm almost 40 now. As safe as Rise and Outlaw is, it is exciting to hear the next evolution in the Hank sound, even if it was not a purely creative venture. I feel like it's a pretty darn good listen, if that makes sense. I understand a lot of these records have negative things going on behind the scenes, potentially, but I hope there was some enjoyment in this entire catalog, in this career. I hope that there was some positivity and joy, catharsis in releasing these songs. I know that the fans, I see it on Facebook, I see it all over the internet. I know people love this music, and I hope that some of the creative process was fun as well. Number 3, we got Damn Right Rebel Proud from 2008. 2008 was an interesting year of music. That's a good year of music, I think. Right now, for some reason, why is it only Hank 3 and Black Eyed Peas? I'm sure there was other stuff. Foxborough Hot Tubs, maybe that's a bit better. That's a weird mix. I'm gonna make a Hank 3, Black Eyed Peas, and Foxborough Hot Tubs cassette mix. Okay, yeah, we're in the top 3. Damn Right Rebel Proud. The name drops, the obscenity in the Grand Ole Opry. Oh man, the Grand Ole Opry bashing on the opening track. That's one of the greatest songs ever. Just period. It's so good that Hank 3 and every person he mentions in the song should just be in the Grand Ole Opry, even if they don't want to be. It's just that good. Candidate for Klapakosad is another highlight on this near perfection of an album. Every song is a highlight. Every song is a highlight. And it has been years since I've seen My Mama. And When Will I No Longer Hurt? Some really emotional stuff. The fan base is gonna freak out, man. This can't. Oh man. Okay, we're just gonna go for it. People know I'm a wacko, right? People know I'm a whack job. Can't pronounce no names, no good. My second favorite, Hank 3. Second favorite Hank 3 album is Straight to Hell from 2006. In that year, I was coming off the heels of my own Wild Streak, and this album was there for me through some dark times, cheap wine, and all sorts of stuff that 3 sings about on this record. Satan is real, and I have been thrown out of a bar before. I suddenly found myself sitting on the floor, unable to get up, and someone was telling me, hey, you need to get up or we're going to throw you out. So stand up. You can't be like, I was on my knees in the floor, like, and they're like, hey, stand up. If you can't stand up, you can't be in our bar. And they threw me out in the bushes, man. Pills I took, my drinking problem. Oh man, my drinking problem. That's one of my favorites. That, like, going through these albums, that one really stuck out this time around. And 2 of the greatest songs ever in the history of Time, Space, and Coffee, Dick and Dixie and Not Everybody Likes Us. I'm not sure which of those 2 is better. Probably Not Everybody Likes Us. Probably Not Everybody Likes Us because it cleared up that matter of Kid Rock. Kid Rock, you are not the brother of the 4x4. It's true, he's a Yank. He ain't no son of Hank. And if you think so, well, wait. Did 2006 me actually believe that? No. I did hear the rumor going around on that 2006 interweb thingy that everybody was using, and I thought it was dumb. I knew the second I heard it, so that song just gave an extra layer of relatability to real life. I can't imagine. I guess if you're not a fan of either, or not a fan of one, not a fan of the other, I guess if you're not familiar, I guess you could hear that rumor and think it was true. But gosh dang, you're dumb. But yeah, that song is super relatable, and the country music produced by 3 and Joe Buck on this record are truly just some of the best stuff to come out of the genre and the music world at large. Now we got 2010 record at the number 1 spot. We got number 1, Rebel Within. This is what I like to call the drinking album, right? If you haven't drank to this album, well, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't want to send you down the wrong path. But getting drunk and falling down, I never thought I'd hear it performed live. And yet, Daniel Mason on banjos, ladies and gentlemen. He's giving it to the crowds and reminding them of what country and bluegrass sounds like in the future, baby. In the past, he's bringing it all to the present. So shout out to Daniel Mason. He's really, really awesome guy. I got a koozie. It's now in the hallway, but it used to be back here. But yeah, Daniel Mason doing some incredible stuff. Whole family, really good guys there. But Rebel Within, the title track with its brutally shrieking backing vocals. Oh, that's the chef's kiss. Drinking Ain't Hard to Do and Drinking Over Mama, they align with Getting Drunk and Falling Down as the unholy booze trinity and rank among the greatest songs of all time, space, and coffee. Whether it be country, rock, rap, metal, Rebel Within is a perfect record. The song number 5 is a look at the sobering side of the party, and it really hits home. Carmageddon feels like it's pulled straight out of the Joe Strummer songbooks, and you just can't go wrong with Rebel Within. And tell me how wrong I am. Tell me how right you are with your ranking of the Hank 3 albums. My list could shuffle and shiffle around a lot. So I'm going to show you this shirt. We got 4 in the Strange Band, baby. It actually fits better now. I've lost some weight, so that's good. And I'm all jacked up on coffee and not booze. Not everybody likes me. That's okay.